Hi guys, Debolina here. I hope you're doing well. I am going to talk about the book I have just almost finished reading now. This is Zodiac Unmasked by Robert Graysmith. So, before I get on to the book, I'll just show you. This is a thick book, okay, and it has some 500 pages. This is part 2 of the book of the series. For those of you who are not aware about what this is based on, I'll let you know. Zodiac, I found out about this when I watched a movie called Zodiac. This is based on the Zodiac killer. So this was a serial killer in the US, and the movie stars what's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal. I think that's how I pronounce it. Jake Gyllenhaal, and it was really interesting. I loved the movie. Mm, it's quite an edge of the seat kind of a thriller. When you see the movie, you there are a lot of clues that are shared out there, but you are still left looking for answers. And there are many points during the movie where you kind of almost pinpoint the main suspect, and you tell yourself, right, this is the guy, this is the guy. Why aren't you catching him? You have so much evidence to go on, but how come you're not able to prove it? So I had those moments a lot when I watched the movie, and that was actually the first time I found out about the Zodiac killer. I had no background on the killer, on the story, nothing. So once the movie ended, I was very, very curious as to what really happened. And after the movie ends, the point at which the movie ends, what happens after? Is the killer caught? What really happens? Do the police actually manage to nail down the suspect who they've been gunning for so long? And this is a killer who terrorized an entire generation, and even after the generation in which the decades through which the crimes happened, the killer managed to terrorize a lot of more generations after the main killings. So I did some research, and in the book, so there was this character. One moment, yeah, sorry about that. So in the movie, there was this character, this political cartoonist. I think he works for the editorial of a big publication, some newspaper. So this guy takes it upon himself. He somehow gets mixed into the controversy, into the killing, the investigation, and he takes it upon himself to go and try and solve more of the clues, the cryptograms, the codes that are shared by the killer. Because this killer is very intelligent, and this killer tries to share clues and codes with the police, and actually challenges the police to crack the codes so that they can catch him. So now this book is written by this same journalist I'm talking about, Robert Graysmith. So Robert Graysmith, in the movie that I saw, the movie is basically based on the first book. So I would suggest that you watch the movie called Zodiac. It is available on some of the OTT platforms right now. It's streaming, and it's called Zodiac. It has Jake Gyllenhaal. And the reason I ask you to watch the movie first, the first one, is because then it will give you an idea of the characters, of the kind of things that actually took place, and then you'll have a better idea of what this book is about. So the movie talks about the killer, the killings, and what happens during that time, how the killer gives a lot of clues, and what the police does, how the investigators are working, how the journalists are working, how the media is tracking all of that. Then comes book 2. Okay, so this is where it's interesting. I would suggest you watch the movie Zodiac first, and then you pick up this book. It's called Zodiac Unmasked. So in this book, the journalist Robert Graysmith, he actually brings about a lot of information from the first book. Even if you've not read the book, and if you just watched the movie, you will be able to understand everything that happens. Reason I want you to watch the movie, if you can, is because it'll add even more interest and chills while you're reading this one. You'll be able to visualize exactly what happened, because it's shown in the movie in many different ways. So this book is about Zodiac Unmasked, where Robert Graysmith finally reveals who the real Zodiac killer is. So I'll read a bit from the back cover, and I'll also read a bit from the first few pages of the book, I think 1 or 2 pages. And this book also has, real letters sent by Zodiac. So can you see? This is one of the letters that was directly sent by the killer. So I'll read the back cover first so that you know what this is about. A scary and disturbing account of pure evil. Between December 1968 and October 1969, a hooded serial killer called Zodiac terrorized San Francisco. Claiming responsibility for 37 murders, he manipulated the media with warnings, dares, and bizarre cryptograms that baffled CBI codebreakers. Then, as suddenly as the murders began, Zodiac disappeared into the Bay Area fog. After painstaking investigation and more than 30 years of research, Robert Graysmith finally exposes Zodiac's true identity. With overwhelming evidence, he reveals the twisted private life that led to the crimes and provides startling theories as to why they stopped. America's greatest unsolved mystery has finally been solved. It also includes photos and a complete reproduction of Zodiac's letters. That's what you'll get here. I have this much to finish. I finished this much. Now I have this much left. Okay. So I have been reading this book from, I think, since the last, it's been 3-4 weeks now I've been reading this book. It usually does not take me so long to finish a book, but I'm just so into it. It is just, so intense. What I love about this book is the cat and mouse game. The killer is extremely intelligent. It's an extremely intelligent man who's doing all this. So this guy is well versed in geography. This guy is well versed in police police lingo, police language. This guy is well versed in human psychology. He is very, very well versed in coding, cryptograms, in creating new codes. He is very, very well versed even in FBI lingo, FBI coding. He is very well versed about how big publication houses work, the newspaper industry, the journalism industry, media. He's well versed about all of that. He is very, very good. He's a very good scuba diver. He's a very good swimmer. He has been an athlete. This guy is very good in maths. He's very good in he's very good in physics. He's very good in chemistry. He's very good in biology. So then there is nothing that the police or the investigators are able to come up with which they can claim that they are better at than what this guy is already doing. There's a lot of challenge going on, and this guy is also in some ways this guy is reaching out to the investigators himself, giving them clues and telling them that, see, I'm giving you clues, please come and catch me, solve these, come and catch me, otherwise I will commit more crimes, I'll commit more killings. And this guy also he's keeping count of how many points he's getting versus how many points the police is getting. So it's very chilling. He keeps count of how many murders he's committed and how many of those murders the police is able to solve and catch the killer, whether or not they're able to do that, and how close have they come to him. And you'll actually find letters and notes where the killer actually has written down these points, the Zodiac so much, the police so much. And this guy also sends proof that he's collected from the victims, so that everybody knows that he's not messing around, he is the real killer. Now I always like to know more about the human psyche and human psychology and how it works. So it's kind of interesting to see how many challenges there are and how the other side is trying to decode all of that and reach closer and closer, why they are not able to catch him initially, and what leads them to the killer, and certainly seals it when they bring all of the I won't say proof, but all of the different codes, the different coincidences together. And then what happens? So I will read a little bit from the start of the book. I'll read the first page. Should I read the introduction? Okay, you know what? I will read the introduction, one page of the introduction, and I will read one page of this first, the main part of the book. Okay, let's do it. So here we go. See, this is one of the pictures. I'm always sorry for my hand shaking. Zodiac's unmasked features first came into focus one blazing summer day upon the crystal face of a watch. The detectives inside the cramped office studied the large, expensive timepiece on the wrist of their prime suspect with dread. Such a commonplace object should not arouse fear, yet it did. It had taken them almost 3 years to winnow 2,500 suspects down to a handful, among them a man named Star. Now they saw Star's broad, smiling face reflected in that watch, and they knew the watch had been a catalyst for murder. Its stark black and white markings had inspired an unprecedented reign of terror. Its logo had given the killer his symbol, a crossed circle like a gun sight, and his name Zodiac. After Jack the Ripper and before Son of Sam, there is only one name their equal in terror: the deadly, elusive, and mysterious Zodiac. Since 1968, the hooded murderer had terrified San Francisco and the Bay Area with a string of cold-blooded killings. He hid his true features beneath a black homemade executioner's hood, emblazoned in white with his symbol. Zodiac, in taunting letters sent to newspapers, provided hidden clues to his identity with cunning codes. "This is the Zodiac speaking," he began as always. "By the way, have you cracked the last cipher I sent you? My name is..." His cryptograms defied the greatest code-breaking minds of the FBI, the CIA, and NSA. To terrify the public, Zodiac employed arcane terminology and purposely misspelled words. Sometimes he forgot himself and spelled a word correctly within the same letter. He used mispunctuation and ungrammatical language in his letters, yet understood subtle grammatical usages such as shall and will. "I shall no longer announce to anyone when I commit my murders," Zodiac printed in blue felt-tip pen in November 1969. "They shall look like routine robberies, killings of anger, and a few fake accidents, etc. The police shall never catch me because I have been too clever for them." And Zodiac was clever, wearing glue on his fingertips to keep them from leaving prints, and changing bizarre weapons with each attack. Among his weapons were a gun that projected a beam of light so he could hunt people at night, electronic bombs in his basement targeted for school children, a homemade knife in a decorated scabbard, and guns of every caliber. We were all afraid. Single-winged planes trailed school buses manned by armed guards, a reaction to Zodiac's threat to pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out. With each whispered phone call and cryptic message, each bloody scrap of victims' clothing mailed to the San Francisco Chronicle, where I worked as a political cartoonist, a resolve grew within me to uncover his true face. Yeah. So like I mentioned, the author of this book, Robert Graysmith, used to work at the San Francisco Chronicle as a political cartoonist. Another very chilling thing about this killer is that he used to call up these investigators and some of the media people, and he would just breathe into the receiver. He knew how to chill you, he knew how to actually terrorize you. So I really enjoyed the book. of course, it's all non-fiction, it's all real, it's all happened. And there were many imitators, there were many copycat killers also who tried to imitate the intelligence of this man. But it didn't work like that. They were caught. But was Zodiac ever caught? I think you should read the book. It's quite interesting, Give it time, don't rush through it. And there's a lot of back and forth that you might want to do while you're reading the book. So while I am reading, I'm about to finish it, maybe today or tomorrow I'll finish it. I read something, then I go back to the start, and then I join the dots, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I read that there, so maybe this has some significance here. Things like that. While you're reading the book, don't rush through it. Enjoy it. And there's a lot of stuff that you can understand and learn, mainly about the human psychology, and things about how in this crazy world we really got to be careful and alert, and what are the signs that we can pick, things like that. So yes, that was kind of a review of the book Zodiac Unmasked. I got it online. I have actually bought a used copy which was in very good condition, so you can also find something like that. And if you do, let me know. And since I really love dark thrillers, and whether it's fiction or non-fiction, I love dark themed stories and books. So if you have something in mind, do let me know in the comments. And that's about it. It's getting warmer, it's getting hotter, so please ensure you have a lot of fluids, dehydrated, take care of yourself, be a little careful if you're venturing out. If you have to go out of the house, be careful. And don't let anybody trouble you or bully you or tell you you're not good enough, because you are. And if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you have been here before and again chose to come and spend some time with me, thank you so much. Of course, if you don't like what you see, you are free to go and hit the dislike button. If you can tell me that you like something, you can also tell me that you don't like it, right? So yes, yeah, I'll see you again later. Till then, bye bye, take care.